Hey everybody, this is I Like Rice. I watch bad horror movies so you know they're bad, and I watch good horror movies because, well, they may warm your little black heart. Anyways, last night I watched Down, the newest installment of the Into the Darkness series on Hulu. This is produced by Blumhouse Productions, and I am a big fan of Blumhouse, and I hope you are too. Many of their movies are great. The Conjuring, Happy Death Day, Puka. Puka was amazing. And so I was really excited to see this movie, Down. It is the Valentine's Day episode, and it consists of two people being locked in an elevator over a long weekend. That long weekend being long because of Valentine's Day and President's Day. I am so jealous that they have a job where they get off Valentine's Day and President's Day. That sounds really weird, but whatever. Anyways, this movie, I thought it would have to really be built on character development, and I was excited about that. I saw M. Night Shyamalan's Hell, which is essentially a bunch of people are locked in an elevator, and one of them is the devil. And it was great. So I was really excited about this movie. Sadly, spoiler alert, it was not all that great. Anyways, you should know that this is going to be full of spoilers. So don't at me, bro. I promise never to say that again. I might be lying, though. Anyways, I'm going to talk about my favorite scenes, the stupid decisions that the characters made, and the most unbelievable aspects of this movie. So, my first great scene in this movie, I don't know if it was great, but it was really good, was right after the two main characters, Jennifer and Deakins, have sex. Now, at the time, Jennifer thought Deakins was named Guy. Spoiler, whatever. Anyways, they have sex very soon into this movie. It's kind of weird, but after they have sex, Guy, or Deakins, starts to really show his true nature. He gets real clingy. He starts talking about making a connection, having a great future together with Jennifer. And Jennifer's like, this was fun and all, but we don't know each other. I'm going to leave and go on my life. You're going to leave, go on with your life. I'm going to get back with my ex-fiance, and everything's going to be great. And he gets really, really clingy and really, really creepy. Now, I want to say to all you ladies, these skeezy dudes that act like this make everybody uncomfortable. So you're not alone. Skeezy dudes make dudes uncomfortable too. And this was very well acted. His lips were trembling. He has a hesitation in his voice. He has a face full of confusion. His eyes even water, and it just made it that much creepier and believable. And I really enjoyed this scene because of how uncomfortable it made me and how believable it was. Now, it's not too long after this scene that the first stupid decision is made. Now, this isn't the biggest stupid decision of this movie, and it's an understandable stupid decision, but it's a stupid decision nonetheless. Now, as the conversation between Deakins and Jennifer progresses, he reveals that he is not an accountant like he had said before, but that he is actually a security guard in the building, and that he has been watching her, taking video of her and pictures of her for quite a long time. Stalker. And this adds to the creepiness. But then they're not actually stuck in this elevator either, because as a security guard, he has an override key, and he has actually locked them in this in this elevator. Now, you can watch Jennifer's face fill with fear and anger, and again, this is a really well acted part of the movie, and that's one of the reasons I think it's a stupid decision, because you watch her mull this over and digest it and actually evaluate what's going on, and then she freaks out. She starts yelling at him, you're gonna never get away with this, you're gonna go to jail, I'm gonna call the cops, and you're never gonna see the light of day, you're gonna be put away forever. And in that situation, while it's totally understandable because this dude is a total freaking skeezy creep, right? It's not the smartest thing because she wants to get out of this alive, right? And she's a smart woman. She's incredibly successful. She works in a firm that is 5 floors of this skyscraper that she's in. And she has the kind of money where she can just get up and go on a catch a flight to New York over the weekend. So, I mean, that's... she's a smart woman, but she makes this dumb decision. And like I said, it's understandable because of the situation, and it's also understandable because at the beginning, this happens near the beginning of the movie, and so she's got time to recover. She's got time to rebuild that rapport with Deakins and hopefully make it out alive. Now, this leads to the second dumb decision of the movie. Now, after a while, Deakins reasserts his dominance, his physical prowess, and his willingness to harm Jennifer if he doesn't get his way. And during that time, that fit that he throws, he's smashing stuff in the elevator, he realizes that there has to be some way to get a panel loose in the roof of the elevator. Now, they checked before, but it was Jennifer and she was just kind of hitting it with her hand. Well, Deakins gets up there and he bangs this thing out with a steel thermos. Now, earlier in the movie, Jennifer had taken a piss in this thermos, and I so thought that this thing was going to bust open and he'd get piss all over him and then he'd like throw a freaking tantrum, right? Well, it didn't happen, and he actually just got the panel open. Well, Jennifer makes a really good decision, and she like sweet talks him, like makes him think that she is down for being with him. He turns to her, he says, give me a boost up and I'll get up there and I'll get us out of here. And she says, no, I'm not strong enough. I need you to boost me up so that I can get up there and then we can go and be together. I won't call the cops. I was just scared, but I know I want to be with you. Whoa. Obviously this woman is intelligent. She's making the right decision by wooing him so that she can get out alive. But the biggest freaking dumb mistake is coming up. She gets him to hoist her up, even though he's hesitant, even though he doesn't believe her at first. And immediately she turns around and gives him the finger before she even starts scaling the ladder to get up to the door that she can push open. Freaking dumb decision, right? He goes into a rage, of course, lifts himself up, and even though she does get to the door, starts to open it up, he grabs her, throws both of them down, probably a floor and a half, back into the elevator shaft, knocks them both out. Smooth move, X, lax, right? Oh well. Now, Deakins' co-worker comes in, right? He's trying to impress his girlfriend, so he brings her over to this building, and he's really trying to impress her. He knows that Deakins is there, and he's trying to give him the heads up, like, hey man, I got my lady, give us some time. And he can't find him, but he notices on the security screens that they're stuck in the elevator. And this is what's going to lead to the next really cool scene. So he goes over and he opens the door to the elevator, and they're in that, like 3/4 of the way up, so there's just enough room to crawl out at the bottom of the elevator. But he decides that he's going to toss his key up. Now, Deakins is up there keeping Jennifer quiet and luring his coworker in. He gets the key, he puts it into the override, and while the guy climbs up there, he grabs him, holds him in a stuck position, and lifts that elevator up, crushing his friend. Now, this reminded me of that scene in Resident Evil where the woman gets decapitated by the elevator, and I always love that scene, so this was kind of a throwback to that. Now, later, he's actually going to come back by the body, and he had just balled it up. There's a freaking body ball. It was so freaking weird, but it's pretty cool at the same time, right? So that was the second pretty good scene in this movie, and that's really where I have to leave it, because there are so many slow parts. I get it, they're stuck in an elevator for a few days, it's gonna be kind of a slow movie, but this had some parts that could have been, either trimmed up or something like that to make it a little, move along a little better paced. Now, the most unbelievable things about this movie, there are two major things that I just could not buy in this movie. Now, I've already established that Deakins has been shown to have the physical prowess to overcome any attack that Jennifer may be able to pull off. And instead of doing so, at a certain point, even though he's hurt and exhausted, she is too, by the way, it's been a few days, he somehow lets her, tie his hands and legs together in a very quick way. And I was like, there's no freaking way. He's so much stronger than her. There's no way that she's going to be able to, in the short amount of time, to overpower him and get him tied up well enough to disable him. It just wasn't believable at all. And in the last scene, spoiler alert, I've already been giving you spoilers. I already let you know that they were coming. This is the final scene that I'm going to be talking about. I don't want to hear your crap. I've given you a lot of time, even in this very moment, because I've been talking a lot, to get away from this particular spoiler. So here it goes. He knocks her out, puts her in the trunk. He's got his bloody clothes from killing his coworker and the coworker's girlfriend. He ends up killing her. It was a really bad scene, and the actual death happened off screen, so there's no really use in even talking about it. It was dumb. And he gets all this into the back of the trunk with Jennifer, goes to a secluded alleyway that ends in a dumpster, fills a dumpster with gasoline, then he goes back and he's starting to get things. Well, he knocks on the trunk, says, Jennifer, you there? And she doesn't wake up. He does it again. She doesn't reply at all. So he opens the trunk, and she's laying there with her eyes open. My wife and I both thought she was dead. We were like, oh, I guess this is one where the bad guy gets away with it. He just kind of accepts it, right? And turns to keep going about his business. Well, as soon as he turns around, here comes Jennifer out of the trunk with the metal gas can and just bonks him on the head, right? Knocks him down. She runs to the car, gets in, and starts to drive away. And I'm like, oh, that's a smart girl. But then I'm like, oh, wow, no, that's a bad decision, because he's going to be alive, and everybody knows that in a horror movie, if you leave the killer alive, he's just going to come back and kill you. Well, she realized this too, right? And stops at the end of the block, throws it in reverse, and starts driving backwards down this alleyway. Here's the unbelievable part. The majority of this alleyway is edged with bushes, not fencing. And there's plenty of room on both sides of the car, and she's nearly a freaking block away driving backwards. He just stands there and watches her drive into him, toss him up over the edge of the dumpster, and impale him on something. That didn't make any sense. It's a stupid freaking thing to do in a movie. He could have jumped to the side. He could have jumped into the bushes. He could have gotten next to the dumpster all in enough time, and yet he doesn't, because it's stupid. Anyways, she ends up throwing a lit cigar into the dumpster, setting him on fire. Story is done. Man is dead. And she gets away with just probably needing to get looked over at the hospital real quick and a few years of therapy to overcome her PTSD. Now, I really wanted to like this movie. Like I said, I thought that there would be a lot of really good character development. And, well, you got that a lot with Deakins. And you got some of it with Jennifer, too, but it just not as much. And it wasn't as much as I would have liked to have seen. I wasn't mad about watching this movie. It wasn't like, Lady in the Water. That movie pissed me off. I wanted my 2 hours and my $20 back. I was so mad when I saw that movie. So it wasn't like that, but it's not like, I'm going to go back and watch this. It's not like Killer Clowns from Outer Space or Puka even. It's not the next Scream by any means. So I would put this at about a 5 or a 6, somewhere around there, because it really, there's no reason for me to go back and watch it again, and those stupid things just really destroyed the movie for me. So, let me know what you think about this video. It's my first. Subscribe to my channel. I might be doing more of these. I like rice. Follow me on Twitter at ILikeRice5. Shoot me an email, ILikeRice555@gmail.com. This is I Like Rice, and I'm out of here, I guess. That was really lame. Oh well. I'm not doing this again just because of a bad ending. Anyways, unpleasant dreams? No, somebody did that already. Oh well. Later.